Hello, I'm so sorry I did not get my video out to you guys earlier. I blinked and Leanne reminded me. Thank you, Leanne. So this was for week 4, memory work. I'll just go through. So math, we sang through the 7s and the 8s, and we did wall sits through those. For Latin, we put it to a song, and hey, Clover Girl, could you come do the Latin song with me, since it takes 2 people? It would require a lot of bravery. So, this song, it goes, I don't know what you've been told.
I don't know what you've been told.
Latin's cool even though it's old.
Latin's cool even though it's old.
Where is she? We're singing some Latin verbs.
We're singing some Latin verbs.
They're those awesome action words.
They're those awesome action words.
Erat was when it came.
Erat was when it came.
Per hiberit there.
Per hiberit there.
Crederent believe.
Crederent believe.
Latin's cool even though it's old.
Latin's cool even though it's old.
All right, thanks, Clover. Put her on the spot. So that one's fun. That one makes it really fun to do the Latin for the week. Science. What are 3 parts of the nervous system? So we just did brain, spinal cord, nerves, and we did those in different silly voices, which they love. This was a fun one to do with like a creepy, spooky voice with brain, spinal cord, nerves. Works well for that one. English, principal parts of a verb. So for this one, we have a couple of signs for it, and we're going to continue to use these week after week as we're conjugating verbs into infinitive, present past, present participle, past participle. So here's how it goes. On your lap, I'll just do it here on the table, but on your lap you go. So principal parts of a verb: infinitive, present, past, present participle, past participle. And yeah, like I said, we'll continue doing that. So I'll just do it one more time. Infinitive, present, past, present participle, past participle. Timeline, we have early Native Americans. Israel divides into 2 kingdoms. Let me take a step back. We start off before early Native Americans with 1000 BC. 1000 BC. Early Native Americans. Israel divides into 2 kingdoms. Now we do H, ASLH, Homer and Hesiod. Rome founded by Romulus and Remus. Israel falls to Assyria. Assyria falls to Babylon. Lao Tzu, Confucius, and then hold your belly, Buddha. Then we have history. Tell me about the Declaration of Independence. So we do a 7 and then a 6. So in 1776, the Continental Congress published the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia, announcing the colonists' intent to separate from England. Intent to separate from England. So this is a sign for England there. And I don't know if this, I think this might be separate in ASL. Then we have geography. So, and with that in class, we did the same thing again, where we labeled, we did a dot on the map in each of the place where the where the capitals are. And then we labeled with the abbreviations for Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. We sang through it several times. So we have Atlanta, Georgia, Tallahassee, Florida, Montgomery, Alabama, Jackson, Mississippi, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. A little pitchy. And then we Bible, and we started, we did Genesis through Ruth. So let's see, it goes Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth. Yeah, and you can practice along with the We Sing Bible Songs tune. For abstract art, we spent some time talking about the concept, talking about warm colors, cold colors, some of the emotion that you can express through color. We talked about how when we did upside down images, one purpose in drawing that way is so that we can draw what we see instead of what we think. But with abstract, it's kind of flipped, where it's drawing more about what we think or what we feel and holding that above what we see. And I brought in a bouquet of flowers and had everyone, I had each of them choose one of the oils, and they were just going to use that element of drawing. So, oh, okay, I'm almost done. Either lines or angled lines or curves or dots or circles. So they could only just choose one of those, but they could do whatever colors they want, and only using that element for depicting the bouquet of flowers. And then I told them to be creative. They get to express what they're seeing in the way that they feel about it, and only using that one element of the oils. So that was fun. They all had totally different interpretations. Science was great. We didn't have time for everyone to do the test, doing a regular breath and then also doing a deep breath. We just had everyone take their deepest breath and then try to blow through the straw to empty out the bottle. So yeah, when learning lung capacity. So if you guys do want to try that anymore from home, that could be another way to experiment with it. We tied learning a little bit about the respiratory system and how the lungs are interacting with the heart and with the circulatory system, and that purpose. And also we also connected it with the axial skeleton and how the axial skeleton is holding the lungs in place, but also how God designed, our ribs and sternum to be able to expand and have that flexibility so that our lungs can expand. So we're just trying to tie it all together. Presentations. This week we switched our focus to talking about the volume of your voice. I talked with them about learning to project to the far corners of the room. Like if there's a fly up in that corner, I want him to be able to hear you well. We're not yelling, we're projecting. And that, I think this one seems like it might be a challenging concept for most of them to grasp. Next week, we're going to practice doing our presentations in the sanctuary, so they can practice speaking from the front and having an audience that's a little bit further back and having to speak loud enough for us to hear them. We're doing this sign as audience members, politely. We're doing this sign to just communicate with the speaker. I can't quite hear you well enough. So if you guys are practicing presentations at home, just a thing to remind them is projecting and experimenting with how to make your voice louder, how to help your voice fill the space without yelling. It's a good skill to learn, and it's hard to teach. So if I can remember, I'm going to look up maybe some exercises or some tips for teaching that to kids, because it's not something that always comes naturally or easily. And it should be easier for them to remember eye contact with the audience while they're speaking, since they've practiced that for several weeks in a row and did well with it. And it's something we're going to keep doing, but we're switching our focus to volume and projection. So anyway, bless you guys. Hope you guys have a great week. Sorry I'm getting this out late.